Week 10 of the fantasy football season, and here's a few quarterbacks I would drop this week. The first guy, Tua Tagovailoa of the Miami Dolphins. So Tua, he didn't play in the Week 9 ball game versus the Houston Texans, and Jacoby Brissett filled in for him, and he didn't play that well either. But Tua now, he's missed 4 games already this season with injury, and he's on a bad Dolphin team, no doubt about it. That's 2-7 on the year, and right now, I doubt he'll be ready for Thursday night's ball game versus the Baltimore Ravens. And even if he is, he's a quarterback I wouldn't use in this situation. The Dolphins obviously don't believe in him. They tried trading all season for Deshaun Watson, but that just never came to fruition. So right here, Tua is a fragile quarterback so far in the first 2 seasons of his NFL career. And right here, fantasy owners, they just can't count on him, in my opinion. So right here, he's definitely a quarterback I would drop. And even if he plays this week, I don't expect much out of him. And if he does have a good game, that's good for him. But he's inconsistent and injury prone. And right now, there's better options on the wire. The next quarterback's Daniel Jones of the New York Giants I would drop. So Daniel Jones, he's been up and down this season here. Just a weird year for him, in my opinion. The last few games, he's, like I mentioned, decent ball games. Nothing over the top. Week 7 versus the Carolina Panthers. 203 passing yards, a touchdown, 28 rushing yards. And he even added a catch for 16 yards. Week 8 at the Chiefs, 222 passing yards, 2 touchdowns, and 12 rushing yards. And then Week 9 versus the Raiders, they held them down pretty good in that ball game. 110 passing yards, a touchdown, and 17 rushing yards with a fumble loss. So right here, Daniel Jones, he's not getting the job done like he was early in the season, where he had 3 games of 25 or more fantasy points. And now he has in Week 10 here, and he's still owned in 51% of fantasy leagues, but a lot of owners are going to shy away from him with the bye, and with him just putting up mediocre numbers over the last few weeks. So in my opinion, in normal 10 and 12 team leagues, there's no reason to hold on to Daniel Jones. And the third and final quarterback I would drop this week, Jordan Love of the Green Bay Packers. So Love was a big add, obviously, this week. Added in 30% of fantasy leagues, but he had a bad showing, in my opinion, versus the Kansas City Chiefs. I know it was a tough ball game in Arrowhead, obviously, but he only went for 190 yards, a touchdown, an interception, and 23 yards rushing. So right here, Love, maybe next year, it'll be his opportunity, obviously, to be the starting quarterback for this Packer team. Aaron Rodgers most likely being gone, but right here for this season, this Packer team's in the thick of things here at 6-2 still on the year. It was just one bad game without their starting quarterback. And Rodgers, he should be back now in Week 10 versus the Seattle Seahawks, in my opinion. So right now, Love, it was a 1-week thing, and he should go back to the wire. Even in keeper and dynasty leagues, I really wouldn't look into it unless you're in the deepest of leagues of holding on to Love. So that's a few quarterbacks I would drop here in Week 10 of the fantasy football season.